But let's still stick in our communities, because when we bring the food, it's our communities that consume them. Now, many Zongo dwellers have high hopes in the Zongo Development Fund and set up by the Ministry of Zongo and Inner City Development. Residents of Koforidua Zongo in Cape Coast say they'll be very disappointed if the ministry is unable to help them get jobs and improve their standards of living. On today's Joy News agenda, Richard Kwejo Nyako visits the area in Cape Coast, and he has come through with this report.
The Koforidua Zongo sits at the heart of the central business district here in Cape Coast. Like many other Zongos in Cape Coast, they are like slums, poor drainage and sanitary conditions with many poor inhabitants.
I was born here, everything here. I've never traveled before, I'm always here. We need jobs so that the boys and the girls, they will not go in for armed robbery and all sorts of that, you see. That is the
30-year-old Nana Fati has lived here all her life. She laments vehemently about the increasing numbers of unemployed persons here at the Koforidua Zongo community. Nana Fati is not alone in the challenge unemployment poses. Abakar Dauda, another resident in this Zongo community, shares a similar concern.
There's no work, so I can't go out. And I'm struggling and I'm trying my best to get something to do, but nothing. We are just forcing. But there is no work everywhere. If you take the application, there is no work. So we are pleading so that this Zongo development will help us more to get more jobs.
But beyond the provision of jobs for the youth here, the Koforidua Zongo dwellers have a huge headache in terms of the planning of the community. Many footpaths often lead to the rooms of other people. The haphazard siting of the structures makes it impossible for rescue operations to go on, and when one is seriously sick, no vehicular movement is possible.
We have a developmental problem. Looking at our Zongo community, the way our structures are being built, seriously, they are not nice looking. And aside that too, it's like we have problem with the drainage system. Okay, when our forefathers, our great-grandparents, when they came to settle here, the way they put up their structures, in fact, it is something else. And as a result, we don't have streets within. So should someone fall sick, or maybe in case of any fire outbreak and we are to get fire service, or maybe to get ambulance into the Zongo to rescue or assist the person, it becomes difficult. So I think it's a major challenge.
Ibrahim Mohammed believes beyond the restructuring of the Zongos, brilliant but needy students who are unable to afford tertiary education should get some respite in the Zongo Development Fund.
We have a lot of brilliant students in our communities, in our Zongo communities. And from the look of things, if you look at the Zongo communities, you realize most of our parents, I wouldn't say most of them are very poor. And children who are, would I say, unfortunate, let's say some of these children are unfortunate because financially they find it difficult to pursue further their education.
Central Regional Chief Imam Yusuf Mohammed wants the provision of jobs for the teeming Zongo youth to be high on the agenda of the Zongo and Inner City Development Ministry.
Hembrente hemba hokasi nyina na wako school akasa bin we university na ate bebre mfipi onye dwuma bia.
They talk about education, they talk about infrastructure, they talk about poor drainage system, and they talk about accessibility. When someone is even sick, how to even get a person out on the street before the person is carried to the hospital, or if there is a fire outbreak or a disaster. From the Koforidua Zongo community, my name is Richard Kwejo Nyako for Joy News.
Richard Kwejo Nyako with that report on our Zongo agenda this week.